This might be something I've not checked out for quite a while, which is going to be a Norse war. Norse wars always prolific in finishing in about 10 minutes just because there's so much action. A lot of mirrors in Asian mythology, Civ mirrors or god mirrors, nobody really likes for whatever reason, but everybody loves a Norse war. It's just all out carnage just because, wow, you know, aggressive units, things like that. Norse always wants to play aggressive, even though saying that, this is the two most defensive of the four Norse picks. Right here, you've got Thor with Borg, and then Bachi up the top side is going to be playing the Frey. So I don't know if it will be aggressive. Maybe we'll have to see if this is some new age Norse situation. But what is this build order? So Bachi's got two gatherers over here. Is he dropping an early temple somewhere? If we move over to his perspective, the Berserk is going to be dropping one down. I just haven't seen it with this variation of gatherers, but still, I mean, there's so many ways to do an opening build order. There's nothing that's right or wrong. I just haven't seen anything be done like this. It just means that he can gather the wood and do an extra ox cart. So it's basically a non-herding version of the fast temple, which means that you get one less dwarf out, or at least a later dwarf. But you have all of this that you've managed to scout. So he's seen that he has hippos and a gold mine on his town center. He's seen where the hunt is. He's found myth units favor cost is slightly less, which is very, very nice in a Norse war if there's going to be lots of fighting, because it means you can build lots of myth units. And he's scouted a little bit of the middle. So is that worth it? I mean, that's kind of up to you, really. It's similar to Ra, right? Where you want to go with your priest and go scouting around, dropping obelisks down and stuff like that. Or you could just get slightly more resources if your priest stays at home and doesn't scout at all. But then you're kind of in the dark. But anyway, up to people what they really want to go for. Normally we see, especially at top levels or even kind of upper mid levels, like 1400 above, we see a lot of herding when players are doing these funky builds. So just nice to see something a little bit different from Bachi. He is a team game player also, whether that matters or changes anything. Very, very strong team game player, actually. Pretty disgusting. Whereas Borg is the Thor main. He got to an extremely high elo playing Thor only, and then decided to play some of the other gods and then lost all that elo. So obviously he knows what needs to be done with Thor. And you would think that that might make you good in other matchups, because you'll know what Thor is bad into, Thor is good into, and you can work that out. But then playing some of the other Norse gods, it's surprising how different they actually are. And it isn't always just knowing what to do, it's having the mechanics and the muscle memory and things to go along with that. And Prodromus, Spearman, Herdman, Catapultes, only Herdman in this situation are going to be stronger. Herdman, not something you see very much of in a Norse mirror, but there is double Freya here. So Freya from both sides, so maybe Herdman could be useful. Always a couple of Herdman could be nice, but anything more than that I think is just a little bit much. And looks like some relics are going to be grabbed. Pandora's box is for you. I think I was red at the time, so Pandora's box was that myth unit cheaper. So Bachi did spot that one. Obviously, we did see him grab that earlier. Then 3 relics on this bottom side. Don't know if either player have started to see these. It's like Bachi has seen it a little bit. And move over to Borg. He hasn't spotted them at all. But we've got, what have we got? Building line of sight +8. Farms are cheaper. And the last one is myth units are more vulnerable to pierce damage. So it means they're better against Goaties, or Goaties aren't as strong, which is something. We do see Goaties a lot in kind of Loki matchups, as they're good against mass myth units. Good against mathematics and myth units, but no. Just mass myth units. And Valkyries are such a great unit in the Norse War, so we're going to be seeing a lot of those, because they can heal up, they can do big damage, and Bachi's going to be coming in trying to take out that Valkyrie. Berserk running away nicely. There was this relic, the farming relic, which will be dropped into the temple from Bachi, no problem, and he's going to be dropping a great haul for himself. Whereas on the blue side, we've got no buildings up yet. It's pure hearses all the time, as the Dwarven Armory gets dropped down a little bit later from Borg. So not going for the early Dwarven Armory build. Maybe didn't want to get overrun by a Bachi very fast advance time into hearses. I know people might be seeing this and going, oh, it's Frey, why would he ever do that? But this early Hersa build has really been creeping up on just everybody's playing it. I mean, I'm spamming this. This is one of my favorite builds to do. And what you can do with it is a bit of a rush with loads of hearses out, but don't really like that version very much. But it looks like Batchy's not paying attention, and that is going to be at least one dwarf down. It's just going to be one, then get out of dodge. Don't want to be losing any units there, just a free dwarf. And when Thor, for Borg here, picks off a free dwarf, it is absolutely wild, because he's going to be able to build dwarves for free with his armory upgrades. And it looks like trying to turn around on the Valkyrie is probably not the best idea, as you're going to lose your own Valkyrie. What I would have liked to see there from Borg is got the Valkyrie on Mr. Andridson here and healed him up so that he doesn't actually go down. I would much prefer that over trying to get an extra kill. A little bit greedy, but the rest of the hearses will get away, whether this one will or not. Looks like good turnaround, though. Batchy probably going to be losing a hearser for it, not paying attention, and actually steals his relic as well. Add insult to injury. Forest fire for somebody, for the red player going down, which is Batchy. Huge double hearser kill there, and if he can pick up these hearsers, that is absolutely massive. He doesn't mind losing a dwarf if he can pick off all of these hearsers. Oh, and the only way to heal these back up is with another Valkyrie. If the Valkyrie was alive there, those guys just wouldn't have gone down. 1 HP and 9 HP. Valkyrie coming in for Borg, though, and those will get healed up. I think Batchy will be happy with that one. He did have to drop his Forest Fire, and of course Borg has his own Forest Fire available, but still also pushing off of this hunt pretty big. Gatherer on 3 HP, and no super speedy hearsers for Frey, or Freya even, both Freyas, so won't be able to get the speedy hearsers in. Do either of them grab the tech is the question to make these guys a little bit stronger. No, nothing grabbed on the blue side, nothing grabbed on the red side either. So this does mean that you can spawn or build Goaties, but I would just build it for the extra 10% HP, because they have 143 HP, so an extra 10% gets them nice and healthy, the extra 14-ish HP, depending on where that 3 rounds to. But you'd imagine that's about 14 HP, which is going to be an extra hit or 2 of a raiding cavalry, probably 2 hits that you're going to survive extra there, which kind of massive. Maybe even 3, depending on how the armor works out. Right, Batchy going to be going on the aggressive. Normally, what you want to do against the Thor, unless you've got some kind of timing attack game plan that you want to go for, because the Thor is just going to pull ahead with the dwarves. It's what he does. It's why Thor is considered to be an extremely strong god, kind of since the beginning of Retold, really. It's been, the Dwarven Armory opening's been nerfed quite a lot, which is why you see players do what Borg did, which is not in the Archaic Age, but a little bit later. And the Valkyrie's going to be coming through. And scared away. Nice reaction from Batchy. He's going to lose a Hearser, but he didn't lose any dwarves, so don't think... Oh, it could have gone worse for him, basically. Batchy going to be grabbing medium cavalry. Disablot tech. Disablot is such a great upgrade. Makes the Valkyries do lots of extra healing, is the main thing. And makes them shield maiden Valkyries, so this sparkly glitter Valkyrie is going to turn into a rainbow sparkly glitter Valkyrie. Won't that be nice? And lots of horses coming out, so maybe a couple of herdmen sprinkled in for Borg here that did manage to get the relic. It was the first one that I thumbed over. Gives them extra range, so kind of makes them like Sarissa Hoplites. And Borg's actually going to be grabbing a TC. I do rate this play, because he does have the hippos here. He has the gold mine, just a cheeky wall up on this longhouse. You could even build some kind of longhouse, or maybe a great hall's big enough to fit in this gap. You can even rotate it if you want to be that guy, and maybe that with a little house next to it will be nice. Can't wall here though, that's just kind of how the game works. You can't wall next to town centers, but you can do something else. Looks like the raiders going to be coming in again, but raiders don't find anything, and actually Batchy decides to do the same thing. Did he spot that? Neither player has spotted their opponent's town centers, but they're both doing the same thing. They're both thinking, this is the way to play with my back gold mine, back hippo. And I do definitely agree with it. So, nice heads-up play from both of them. Borg does get his slightly sooner. And he already has 6 villagers up, thanks to all those armory upgrades and the villager snipes that we saw a little bit earlier. Because he has had 4 free ones here. If you get all of the copper, armor, whatevers, and then wherever one of his hearses is, you also get this one, Hammer of Thunder, from there. Which means 4 extra dwarves. Won't that be nice? And there will be some herdmen. I think a couple of herdmen to defend against this mass raider, shield maiden Valkyrie situation is nice. Yeah, this is it. You need to bring herdmen and a couple of hearses. Mr. Fairhair here, right next to the Huntables, and that is going to be a nice position. But actually deciding instead of that, going for the wall and also going for survival equipment. Survival equipment, of course, for Frey, like every upgrade is half price, which is why it looks ridiculously cheap. But you might as well get it if you are the Frey. And actually, Borg's going to spot this one. Not going to be allowing this wall at all, but the numbers in units are very, very close. And Borg does have loads of units back at home, so I think he might even lose out on this Valkyrie. That's going to be a big, big pick. Huge, and a big splash as well. Splash does go down, and the Hersers will be able to build this back up. Both players on their second TC, and loads of hunt to be grabbed. Really great wall up on this side. I think Bachi, with his map, has got it slightly nicer than Borg. His wall would have to be... Oh no, he does have some trees here, so he isn't too bad. And he walls off the same one extra gold mine on the front. So actually, pretty much the same, even though this one looks so much nicer. Skadi going to be on the way for Borg. I think Skadi in this kind of matchup is very, very nice. You don't want to be continuously going for the horses, because later on you want to be building something else. I mean, Jarls are pretty decent though, so maybe going... Nope, you can't go Njord. You'll have to go Bragi. So actually neither of these players have access to Njord. So I think the Skadi definitely makes sense. For some reason when you see mass horses, I think Odin, but Thor can do it as well. And then maybe the Njord, pretty good. But no, don't want to go Bragi in this situation. The flaming weapons is obviously nice. Flaming weapons always useful. Battle boars always useful. But those Berserk upgrades, maybe you could do that for later on in the game, but throwing Axeman being such a premium unit in these Norse mirrors, probably not the best angle to go into mass Berserks. Building a few to get some buildings up and stuff can be worth it, but apart from that, also raids, but you've got raiding cavalry on 6.6 speed, so not going to be seeing any of those Berserks. And would it be Frey if you didn't go Aegir? I think Aegir is Frey's best god for sure. I mean, he's just busted. All his techs are good. Maybe not all of them. I don't even recognize one of them. Does he have like a water tech somewhere? That's probably not very good. He has 2 water techs. Oh no. This one gives the heroes and the siege weapons. This one summons a Kraken for all 500 damage. Whatever. The rest of them's good. You get the Rock Giant with the Rock Giant upgrade. You get Feast of Renown, which is your great, whatever they're called. Their hill forts are going to be healing up. And Tempest. Very, very strong. Up to the next stage goes Borg. He's also going to be going and grabbing more armory upgrades, and he's just slowly pulling ahead. You can see score-wise, he is pulling ahead. So Bachi needs to get some value from his kit, basically. He needs to get some value from the Tempest. Tempest is better than Frost, in my opinion. You need to use it the right way, but I think Tempest very, very strong. You can force out something with that Tempest, and it can be very, very nice. But actually, Borg going pure Herdman. And has Bachi spotted this? He has spotted it now. What Bachi needs to do is just go pure throwing Axeman. That's it. Run away. Pure throwing Axeman. There's so many Herdmen out. I want to say this is a mistake. 12 Herdmen in a Norse war? He's even building more. The throwing Axemen are obviously going to be in response. There's no... I wouldn't even build the Jarls. Yeah, you can get heavy because you've already got all these throwing Axemen out, all these raiders out, but I wouldn't be building any more horses against these Herdmen. Herdmen are a ridiculous counter. 4x times 4 damage? Brutal. Whereas throwing Axemen are going to have 4 times damage against those as well. It's always an issue in Norse wars, though. Building your longhouses on the front, they are... fragile buildings that go down very, very quickly and take a long time to build, especially when you've gone a pure horse army. It's easier when you've got lots of infantry to spam those up very, very quickly. But Borg on the aggressive. I think Bachi might just be waiting for all his upgrades to come in. And, of course, does have a Golem Bursty, but Borg hasn't used any God Powers yet. He's got a Frost, Forest Fire, and Dwarven Mine that can be dropped down whenever he wants. Balls didn't get finished up on here. Wanted to pull back the cavalry in defense. We'll see what Bachi goes for here. He's going for something around the back, because Borg hasn't actually walled that off. This could be huge. Is Bachi paying attention? Yes, he is. Okay, nice. Does manage to get that one. So many villagers that don't have survival equipment either. You just see the numbers going down so much, and forces out the Frost and takes the villager lead on that one. This Well, he still manages to pick off one. Can he pick off this one as well? That's going to be massive. Another one going down. 53 villagers. And what Batchy needs to do here is just not take the fight. He needs to build Throwing Axeman, not take the fight. I always like to root against the Thor. I don't know why. I shouldn't. Anyway, Throwing Axeman needs to be built. Rock Giants as well. Could be nice. 33 favor in the bank for both players. So myth units are a must. Nice to see the Frost Giants getting built. And actually a bit of a surround wall here. But Tempest is available. You can Tempest when there's like 2 seconds left on this Frost to try and get the horses out. Or they can actually, this hasn't been walled off, so they can run away. No problem. As the Herdmen aren't going to be able to catch them. Maybe one went down there. You might grab a Valkyrie. But I wouldn't mind that after the big trade that Batchy has just won on the backside. The issue is he hasn't built his houses up, so he is not full pop compared to Borg's full pop, and that is a use of Forest Fire. It is the... Oh. I was going to say it's the worst Forest Fire I've ever seen, but the Throwing Axeman decided to run into it anyway. A nice Taunt into Tempest combo. How are the heroes looking for Batchy? There aren't very many, whereas the heroes for Borg are looking much better. He's got 9 of those to go up against the Rock Giants. I think the Frost Giants are just going to be able to tank too much. Throwing Axeman going to be going after the Herdman, I imagine, so that the Jarls gets good damage done. But that was purely just not enough units in. Without the Tempest there, you're just going to lose everything. But even with it, the 190 pop to, what was it, 160? You're down 30 pop. That's like 10 to 15 units, depending on what you build. And that's not what you want to take. But actually kind of throwing away the lead that he's just on. It isn't a lead. He was still behind on eco because all that gathering that Borg managed to do, and Borg does take the town center off the back of that clean fight. Why wouldn't he? Normally, that's what you do want to do. Is if you don't know what to do, just grab a town center when you win a fight. Normally, it's never really a bad shout. Gatherers up on this side kind of could get caught out a little bit, but Herdman Throwing Axeman raids, not something I'd be scared of personally. All the upgrades coming in, but the town center will be able to get Borg back to his economic lead eventually, or at least equal up very, very soon. Actually, this army's looking scary. Batchy needs to be careful here and needs to get some more Goaties out. He's got 9 Goaties. Okay, he's actually fine. 9 Goaties up against all of these Frost Giants, going to be more than enough. The Frost Giants are such a great counter to these Rock Giants here. Who is the better giant? The Rock Giants are obviously better, but if you're frozen and you can't taunt anyone, then they're just going to go down. Goaties kind of tickle Frost Giants, though. And who grabbed that relic earlier? Who grabbed the relic where the Pierce Armor... It's going to be sitting here, isn't it? Pierce Armor for myth units. Going to be better against the Goaties. Sometimes the relic sounds awful, but it's actually not bad. I think it's this one. It's that right here. 15% also. Huge amount. Imagine if a tech gave you 15% of anything. Like, that's a wild amount. Maybe myth unit techs do that. I don't know about 15 though. He does have 2 upgrades, 2 lots of armor upgrades. He's got bronze armor and bronze weapons, so that does stack a little bit more for the Goaties, so maybe that's worth it. This is huge. Transport ship raid for Borg. Borg coming through. The dwarves are not going to know what hit them. This is an absolutely massive play. Don't want to go after the Ox Cart. If you attack move, the Ox Cart is so big, you're going to be attacking that 9 times out of 10. But the Jarls, Batchy, not even noticing because he's getting attacked on this side. And the Jarls, not normally prolific raiders because they be slow, but boy, did they do damage. All of those villagers go down, and I think Batchy was just running away from that fight. Borg in prime position right now. If I was him, I'd go to his position. Cancel everything. So for me, it's shift backspace. Get rid of everything in that queue. Go up to the next stage. Drop a Fimbulwinter and enjoy some kind of Mythic Age situation. The issue is the Jarls can't get out. I mean, he should know that. Borg should know that the Jarls can't get out. That's why he built the transport ship in the first place. But maybe, are you locked in here with me, or am I locked in here with you? Unless that was the same way of saying that. Anyway, the red units are going to have to run away. The red units as well. The Gatherer's going down. Borg finding all the eco damage in the world. even Eggle the one hand. What a guy. Getting caught up in this action. Kraken's going to take down the transport ship. But like I say, I think the blue units... there we go. Now there's more red ones in. The Jarls will go down, but they did what they came here for. They were absolutely fine. That was a fine to take. You were underneath the town center. You're going to take the fight here. You might as well have taken it underneath the town center. More red units are going to survive. But anyway, kind of min-max in there. Not really a big deal. And there is going to be Tyr pre-queued, which is what we said. But Vidar coming through for Bachi. As we said again, he's in the position. It's such a back and forth game, but he needs to get back in a position here to take this game, and that is going to be with a Vidar push. If you could get, like, now would be absolutely perfect. Get that Fenris Wolf in, do damage to all of the Frost Giants, and then an explosion on the hill fort, try and take that down as much as possible. But I don't know, he's taking this a little bit early. He's got a minute left on this Vidar when it's halfway. It's about 2 minutes total, but the Goaties are kind of three-shotting the Frost Giants. It's just got so many, and the Golem Bursty on the back TC is going to be brought in here. Look at the resources in the bank for Borg. How did he not get up to the next stage there? He does have a... Does he not have a hill fort? Yes, he does. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, must have just not had the right amount at the right time. Does manage to sell up, get up to the next stage. That's why I'm saying just cancel the queue at that point, but he has gone up to 4 TCs. It's either go up to the next stage or spam 260 pop and keep pushing. You don't really want to do both, because that does give Bachi some kind of clue back into this game. And he needs to just... What Bachi needs to do now, spam out the units, get to 210, big Vidar push, and he could potentially come back into this one with a big tempo swing. Wouldn't be a bad idea. There is a lot of longhouses, a lot of great halls, though, for Borg, so can spam units back out. The Vidar is going to pop. Big taunt coming in, and I imagine you've just got to drop the dog straight away. In comes the Fenris Wolf. Where do you put it? All the way back here? That's an interesting choice. I guess the explosion's going to do big damage. Kind of big. The run-up also does damage, though. You don't have to just use the explosion. What I like to do is damage to everything with the line and then explosion on the buildings, but I mean, it's kind of personal preference, maybe? Or maybe that's just better. Anyway, Kraken and Jormundelva need to get deleted as soon as possible, because they are taking up vital population. 4 pop. Are they both 4 pop? Yeah, that's 2 Fafnirs that you could get in. That's 2 Bergreasy that you can get in here. You want to be using those instead. And this is the tempo swing that we were saying. Borg down to 185 pop. Look at his queues. 4 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. Dwarves out the wazoo for some reason. And the town center could be going down. And this is what Bachi needs to get back into this game. Is that town center, then he can equal the population. And be in a late game situation against the Thor with the Frey. Now, who wins in the ultra late game? That's the question, because Frey can get all his upgrades in quick, but I guess Thor in the ultra late game when all the upgrades are in is probably better, because you get all those extra armory upgrades. You get, well, 3 extra armory upgrades, but it's all of them counts, and Fimbulwinter obviously going to get dropped straight away. There's no reason not to, and that's some economic damage back on the Frey. But who's winning this fight is the question. Like, they're throwing Asmon are doing so well here. Maybe something on the back. So this Fafnir is brought back to heal up. I guess it's going to take a while. Does he just not want to give the gold over? I wouldn't really be bothered about giving gold over to Thor, because he can build... he can just get as much gold as he wants with his Dwarven Mine God Power. So just bring that bad lad in. But I guess Bachi here, he wants his upgrades in before he goes. And also that eco damage. He just has no food in the bank now, because all of his food gatherers have been stopped. 250 gold does go over to the opponent. More Bergreasy going to be coming from the backside. And these affordable rams, they're trying to get through. Unfortunately, they're with the army. What you want to do is move them over here, away from the army, especially a Norse army that's all hack damage. Send them over here, hill fort, then fortify town center. You'd be in a much better position, but, sometimes it's easier said than done when you're in the game. You've just got to get something done. And the population for both players, to be honest, is so low. Whereas Borg, he's got 3k gold now. Just buy food at this stage. Don't worry about it. Just spam out your boys. Hill fort. Fighting underneath. I'm trying to mix the words. Fighting underneath the hill fort is going to be a nice option for Batchy, because it does heal him also. Heal and does the damage. It's slowly trickling up the damage. It doesn't do that much, but it does something. Definitely helps out. As Pure throwing Axeman. From Batchy's side, how many buildings does he have? It looks like he doesn't have enough for this stage of the game. At least playing Frey. He's getting Conscript Soldiers. He's getting Fury of the Fallen. These things take 2 minutes to come through. Silent Resolve also. It's like it's 100 seconds without that building doing anything. And trying to go into those, I guess, Berserk throwing Axeman kind of combo is what he's after. And I like a player that builds a Fafnir. I'm always known for building a Fafnir. I think they're very, very good. And yeah, Borg is just going to be able to take that one. Well played to him. I think there was definitely an angle back in for Batchy there with the big tempo swing of the Inferno. But maybe the Fimbulwinter just counteracted it so nicely. But still, kind of huge raids as well. Borg got a nice start off with his little raid running back. And then just slowly pulled ahead from chipping away. And then Batchy with the massive raid. But back and forth, gotta love a Norse War.